Once again, I have found many completely new RTS games for you, and some of them even have demos which you can play after you enjoy the time-limited Steam Next Fest demos of Dust Run, ZeroSpace, Liquidation, and many others I have mentioned in my previous videos. I also have updates on games I have discovered for you already, and I will start with the newest Kickstarter update for D.O.R.F. Devs mentioned making a demo playable at the end of the year for supporters who paid for that reward, and they already contacted us who paid for the maximum $1,000 reward about what kind of unit or building we want to design. I answered them that I'm going to design my unit to fit the gameplay once I see how more of the game works. Probably after that mentioned demo at the end of 2026. They have also changed their expansive logistics systems to be more faction unique and also to reduce some of the busy work that proved not too fun to play with. For example, power is now a resource exclusive to the collective faction, and they will use mobile power generators to supply power to advanced Tesla units and to improve efficiency in nearby production structures. While the Warband faction's supply routes between buildings take the form of underground tunnels, moving supplies around safely. As for the dev team, they are bringing in another programming engineer as well as an animator, writer and composer/sound engineer. Another demo you will be happy to play is of the newly announced Stronghold 4, and instead of waiting until the end of the year, you only have to wait 3 more days, as it will be available on Steam on the 23rd of June. With this sequel, which definitely isn't just the 4th game in the franchise, but more like its 9th one, devs from the Firefly studio are going back to the honor system from Stronghold 2 and jumping on the Unreal Engine 5. Fans' opinions and impressions are divided, and rightfully so, as not a single 3D Stronghold game was a success yet. Now I can finally announce that the demo of Sanctuary Shattered Sun will become playable on the 14th of July. Its Kickstarter starts on the same date with a brand new trailer and 2 playable new units of the 5th tier. This demo will feature a campaign mission with cutscenes and voice acting, along with the survival game mode and the training simulator to teach you how to play. Right after the Kickstarter period ends, all backers will get access to the multiplayer with team matches, 1v1s and AI bots. Strategic zoom, weather control, water freezing and Dyson Sphere cross-shattering are just some of the features we have to look forward to. And because of my personal involvement with developers of these games on so many levels, I get to make another announcement, this one about the release of Powerplay this July, whose latest demo version you can already play during Steam's Next Fest event. This is a rare RTS which has both airfields for jets and an entire navy. On release, Powerplay will feature a 10-mission single-player campaign with a bunch of maps for up to 6 players in the skirmish mode. This base building and army combat in the gem comes with some logistics and supply chains, complete with conveyor belts and factories. Additional content on launch will be a fully fledged game editor with Steam Workshop support, the same one devs used to create its campaign. I hope you will both wishlist it and play its demo, leaving feedback for the always attentive developer. In my previous RTS news, I left a mini trailer about WARSHIFT 2 at the end, and many of my viewers were highly interested, so here is the latest on this intriguing title. At first glance it is an action RTS, but it has a unique blend of elements, some borrowed from the RPG genre. There is base building, army management, but also customization of your main characters, and massive mechs, battleships and carriers, which are the main features of the last few trailers. But my eyebrows shot up the most when I saw their campaign teaser, which included live action cutscenes. These will be part of the game's two story-driven campaigns, centering on the Cyber Legion and Alien Enclave factions. The action part of the gameplay comes from the ability to toggle between third-person action and strategy modes in real time on the battlefield. With this being a solo devs project, it's even more impressive for its visuals and a mix of environments like air, water, volcanic, underwater, and even outer space. WARSHIFT 2 even features a mobile shipyard for constructing and maintaining aircraft carriers. These can field fighters, bombers, strike aircraft, and helicopters. When it comes to AAA RTS titles, Age of Empires is expanding its DLC list with Raiders of the North, with a release date somewhere in the last quarter of 2026. The main themes of this one are two new civilizations, Viking and Scots, meaning raiding and mobile infantry on one side and resilient and defensive on the other. With these come specific new biomes tailored to the theme of the DLC, with more content and missions for the Crucible mode, as well as solo and two-player co-op mode. Let me know in the comments which civilization are you looking forward to. If we go down a step to AA RTS developers, Relic just announced the definitive edition for their first Company of Heroes game, and it will arrive during fall of 2026. From the currently available information, it's similar to their definitive edition makeover for Dawn of War, with 64-bit platform support, quality of life gameplay improvements across the board, including better AI and a new Ruthless AI difficulty setting, as well as enhanced visuals. It will come with both Opposing Fronts and Tales of Valor expansions, meaning 3 full campaigns, 50 plus skirmish and multiplayer maps, and will be compatible with all the community created mods from the last 20 years. Next AA RTS game developer is Creative Assembly, which is trying to punch its way up to AAA status by mixing their almost 30-year-old Total War formula with a 40-year-old franchise, Warhammer 40k. It's a mix made in heaven, but only if they pull it off properly. Looking at some of their latest footage and dev interviews, there is room to be hopeful, but I have personally always been skeptical that the lore of Warhammer 40k can mix with the gameplay of Total War. I just hope we don't get Napoleon Total War in space as the end product. Let me know what you think of it so far in the comments below. And speaking of space, I should update you on the latest footage and info about Masada, that solo indie developers take on homeworld-like gameplay, but in a totally new setting and with its own original lore. In these newest clips from the development, we can see a comparison of ship sizes, and oh boy, only with a comparison do you really start to appreciate the scale. We also got a look at location-based damage and some work-in-progress combat and controls as a group of raiders attacks miners. I hope you will support this developer with your ideas and feedback on his Discord and wishlist his game on Steam. Link is in the description as it is for all other games I show in this video. When it comes to indie developers, few are as famous and currently talked about as the one behind Beyond All Reason, after the announcement of a publishing deal with Hooded Horse and a Steam version of their game, which will finally bring the much needed storytelling campaign and more extra content. Considering the game's roots and its community-driven development from over 100 contributors, making this deal was uniquely challenging, but the game's future is now brighter for it. That future Steam version will have crossplay with the original version, which remains completely free and will be updated to keep parity with the Steam version. The next game I want to talk about is Chronicles Medieval from a brand new studio, but they came out swinging with an amazing looking gameplay trailer and developer video blog. This game mixes real-time tactical command on the battlefield with your own controllable and customizable leader character. You probably know of a few games which do a similar mix, and you can tell me in the comments which one you enjoyed the most. This one is set in medieval Europe during the events of the 100 Years' War. Its developers plan to go into early access at some point in 2026, and from what I could see and read, they have an amazing idea to mix your command role with actual combat, both before the battle starts and during the hot action. I can't wait to see how it turns out. I have a very cool looking update for you about Veil of Ashes, that indie developed dark steampunk themed game with customizable hulking landships of 3 different factions. Devs sent me footage of how you insert new landships with a massive Seraphim transport, and there is footage of new units and some explosions as well. This is a tactical game, meaning no base building, but it will have strategic capture mechanics on large maps with destructible terrain and buildings. Devs plan to have both multiplayer and skirmish modes of up to 8 players, and yes, it will have infantry too, for which reason they hired 2 new programmers who will also work on AI bots. There are going to be even more units and impressive transport airships, so stay tuned in to learn more about it. Join their Discord server and make sure to wishlist their game on Steam. Next, I have for you a very early peek at Echoes of Myran from the indie devs at Deep Current Studio. This completely new game project mixes RTS and action RPG elements and is set in a sort of fantastical sci-fi setting where a galactic portal rift pulls foreign worlds and civilizations onto the planet Myran with devastating consequences. We can expect 4 factions, focus on storytelling with plans for PvP, PvE and co-op. Gameplay will switch between a strategic overview and direct hero action. Now I want to invite you to the demo of Panzer Strike, already available on their Steam page, and it will stay up for several weeks after the Steam Next Fest ends. This is a retro-looking World War II real-time tactical game, meaning no base building. It makes up for it with massive maps which can have thousands of units, including artillery, infantry, and of course lots of tanks and other vehicles. In this demo version you can play as the USSR in a training mission, and with the Germans for a full mission which can take a while to finish. There are 2 types of infantry and 9 There are about 2 types of infantry and 9 types of vehicles and guns for you to try out. Let me know what you think about its gameplay when you get to playing it. Another demo you can look into is for FleetLord. This is a solo indie devs project that takes the conquest, exploration and massive fleet battles of classic Space Empire games and compresses them into fast-paced RTS matches where players capture planets, build interconnected economies, unlock upgrades and wage large-scale wars. There is surprising depth to it despite the simple looks, as every planet has a purpose. Some produce ships, others provide resources or unlock upgrades. There are even randomized perk cards you gain from leveling up your empire. They've created AI bots for solo and team play, but also online multiplayer for competitive 1v1 and team matches. Solo indie devs are on a roll these past few years, and the one behind Silica posted his new major update and patch titled Collision Avoidance. What's new is improved AI pathfinding and vehicle handling, something players have been asking for, as well as new maps, UI improvements, sandbox updates, multiplayer additions, and much more you can read in the updates notes on Steam. This team-based RTS, which gives you the ability to be a frontline soldier besides the overall commander, should now be smoother, more stable and far more polished. If you enjoyed its multiplayer battles, let me know your favorite way to play, as the soldier or as the commander. In case you still haven't played the demo of Liquidation, here is a gentle reminder, as I personally consider its storytelling campaign missions the best ones I have played in a long while, and do note this is work of a solo indie dev. I went through several of these missions and gave my honest impressions with both the good and the bad in my dedicated video you can find linked up here and down in the description. Its new demo, which also features skirmish and multiplayer with 3 factions and several available maps, will be online a little while longer, so if you haven't already, make sure to play the demo of this future indie RTS gem. In keeping with the theme of solo-developed fantasy RTS games, this is Flow of War, and I'm happy to announce that it will be released in July of this year. There is already a demo of it you could play, and the dev updated it with more missions. The full game will feature a campaign inspired by Blizzard's best work. Along with that comes the defense mode with some randomness like in Diablo 2. This game does have base building and a unique resource harvesting system with automated workers. A full map editor will be included, but the game does feature a random map system and a 4-tier strategic upgrade system. I can't wait to see what you all make of it. The next solo-developed game is Kriegsspiel 7-Year War, whose dev allowed me to announce his future Kickstarter campaign, which will start soon, most likely in July. Lately, dev has worked on improving sounds and visuals, along with landscapes and forests. He added a new feature to read officers' reports and the British Hanoverian campaign. Yes, this game also has a demo on its Steam store page, where you can test out this 18th century inspired real-time war game. The battlefields are vast, spanning a good 100 square kilometers, and orders you send to your units are carried by couriers, something like in Strategos. Terrain plays a major role in battles and what you can see or hit with artillery, with morale, supplies and physical condition influencing unit capabilities. Dev went a step further and reconstructed historical battles based on the topography and historical maps of the battlefields. This one has been out a while, but its devs keep on working on it and adding new content. Now, the Hive has both a survival mode DLC and a cinematic trailer. In this new game mode, your insectoid hive mind fights with a persistent swarm, which doesn't reset after each level, but your units carry over their stats, skills, levels, items and upgrades to each new mission. Even resources are carried over, making exploration, survival and efficient clearing far more important. If this is the first time you ever heard of this game, you are not the only one, and it is why I am trying to raise awareness about it despite its quite old initial release date. Most fun part about the strange RTS is its mix of RPG elements, like harvesting DNA from defeated enemies to unlock new units, abilities and strategies, and the fact that you can equip your creatures with powerful items scavenged from the remains of an old civilization. As you know, I love to feature something completely new in RTS gaming, and the devs of Timefront just gave me that opportunity. While I have to remind you that this is super early alpha gameplay, their main idea is to create a Battle Royale multiplayer game mode, besides a storytelling and cinematic campaign experience.
Chaos ensues.
How it works is that you get a huge map and start at its outskirts by capturing new HQs and resource deposits. There you recruit new units and construct buildings to quickly extract resources and build up your army before the map contracts. This is done by the Timefront, which comes from the edges and reduces the map size, forcing remaining players to fight for few resource spots and HQ buildings. There are more elements, and I will talk more about them in a future dedicated video. Devs are investing into a story single player campaign as well, which will let you gain upgrades, and you can see its initial mission here, along with a cinematic.
I see a spark of defiance.
Some of you might be already familiar with Stellar Warfare, as it's been out for a time, but its dev works tirelessly on bringing new content and updates. So it is my duty to tell you about his new skirmish and multiplayer experience, as well as the polish he put on the single player aspect of the game. Bots are part of the multiplayer now, with several difficulty levels and special personality settings like aggressive, turtle, balance, tech or eco. In addition to this update, dev has also removed money cheats from bots, who have to rely on the same economy as the human players. This space sci-fi game has been through many changes and updates, so I hope its customization of 200 ships with weapons and modules and 3D space movement will be inviting enough for you to try it. Another game you should try out is Coloniser, which I have shown you several times before, and I will leave a link to those videos, but now it looks far more different and unique. Devs have worked on the Ode system, which are basically quests to give you more content to go through as you battle many other players on month-long servers. They are preparing a map editor, which has led to new maps for us to play on, while units got new animations and textures. Formations and pathfinding are another upgrade necessary for these units, as you can recruit quite a lot of them into your army depending on how long you stay alive in this game's multiplayer. A playtest is live, so you can jump in right now and experience this new way of playing in a kind of long war RTS against other players. If you follow my channel regularly, I recently showed you Artificial Extraction 2, but it has been released this month and now you can play its full version. It's yet another solo devs project, and its unique aspect is hybrid FPS and RTS gameplay. You have to be the commander who constructs his base and takes care of harvesting and generation of several resources, but also the foot soldier who helps his stationary defenses with an array of weaponry. You can boost your defenses with a drone and even an artillery barrage. As missions get harder, you also need to invest more and more into upgrades for your many types of turrets, which have different kinds of weapons aimed at very different enemies. I personally had fun in it and hope it helps to move the whole FPS/RTS hybrid subgenre forward. With Astro Industry Wars, we go back to more simpler times in gameplay, since this solo indie dev used a lighthearted take on a future filled with space travel and new tech. It has a demo playable past the Steam Next Fest with economy that features production chains. Units range from hovercrafts to land vehicles and even aircraft, and are set up through a customizable loadout system. There is tech and base building, so I hope you will try it out and share your feedback with the dev. Next demo you might be interested in trying out is based on tower defense roguelike gameplay, but with one major twist. You are an engineer and commander of the Ironfront Express, from which the game takes its name, and have to defend lanes with specialized and upgradable turrets, drones and some tactical abilities. There is lots of tinkering with your engine between battles, changing loadouts and even manually using your main weapon. Levels are procedurally built, but enemy waves are handcrafted. There is some story to explore and lots of upgrades and tech to discover. Let me know, have you already tried it or do you plan to? This next demo I want you to try out is of Blaze of Empires, and it won't end anytime soon. What's even better is that it was updated and changed several times, as devs take your feedback seriously. They are working towards an early access release in the last quarter of 2026 with a solo and co-op experience that is a mix of RTS and roguelike gameplay. It does have regular resource collection and base building and some colossal units. Devs added souls and favor of the gods as features for the roguelike aspect, while there is a tech tree with upgrades you unlock after each battle. Since you know I always bring you newest RTS game projects, and most of them very early, here is a look at what a small group of indie devs is trying to create and make it work just in your browser. This means no download and no buying, as Warpact is envisioned by them as a game you play in skirmish versus AI or in 2-player multiplayer with a friend. They already have 2 maps, some buildings and units, and are asking for your feedback and testing time. Eventually they would like to expand to a persistent world MMO RTS with a strong storyline. Last but not least of the new game demos I have never talked about before is Annexation. Its dev explains it is a fast-paced real-time strategy game with old-school roots. His demo does let us try out his base building, economy system and unit combat, but he does want to build a full-on classic RTS campaign. There is customization in this one with different types of units you can upgrade and even modify upgradable skills and passive abilities. It's set in an original magical world, and despite its fast gameplay will remain a solo experience for maximum unit responsiveness. I know what you're thinking, where are ZeroSpace and Dustfront? Well, as for the latter, I have already made several videos, including my very first ever live video in which I took on the mutants of Dustfront at the maximum difficulty and got my behind whooped not once but twice during a single stream. I also posted that tutorial to help you get into the game. When it comes to ZeroSpace, that one is taking longer to play and figure out, as its demo is far richer in content, so give me some more time. Until then, enjoy my other videos linked here as cards on the screen and links in the description. Thank you for watching and happy gaming!